Good morning. Hey, today I want to talk about item setup, work definition setup, and structures for cost accounting. In my career, I found that there are a couple kinds of people that deal with cost accounting. We have the people from supply chain and we have the people from finance. And so this is a very basic walkthrough for finance people who may not have a lot of experience in cost accounting, so they can understand how why costing works and what has to be set up in supply chain for costing to work. And so first I'll go through an item, then structure, and then work definition. So to get into items, we go in through product management and then product information management, or PIM, as some people call it. We'll see how slow my wheel of death is this morning. Okay, that took longer than I wanted to, but here we are. And then we're going to come over here to the task and go into manage items. And I'll bring up AS 475 1100 because it's it's a make part. It has a structure on it. And so I can show structures and items. So we'll do a search. So the first thing you're going to notice that there's going to be various versions of this, because we can have some parameter set at the global level, which in this case is 000, or you can set it at the facility level because you can do planning and costing differently in different facilities, even if you're making the same part. So we'll go into the global setup here for this item. Must be Monday morning. Everybody's still tired. Okay, so we'll go into specifications, and this brings up a list of different areas we can put attributes in. So costing actually is in this manufacturing section, and this is what it defaults to when it opens. And so costing is down here. We need to say costing enabled, and no matter what you do, you're not going to get cost. You want to include this in a roll-up, and we say yes. Um, and this is an inventory asset. Now in process manufacturing, you can also do standard lot sizes, which the system will use as part of the cost calculation for batches. So these are the first setups that you need to do on the item. Now you can go into structures, and this is where the bill of materials are created. Way back when Oracle, 10 years ago, when Oracle created manufacturing in the cloud, they renamed some things. So we have structures instead of bill of materials, and we have work definitions instead of routings. You can create many different bill of materials if you choose. You can click plus and build it. But you can also create one from a copy. So a lot of times what I do when I set up items is I'll copy from another item, and then I'll copy over the bill of material and change it, right? Or you can set up a template and copy from a common. But we're going to just go in and look at the primary bill of material that's been set up here. So this is the bill of material that's used for work orders. This is used for cost roll-ups, etc. So some of the things here is that we have start dates, and we also have, we can't see it very well here, but we can also end date it. So I can put we call those effective dates, right? So those are the dates that I'm going to start using that component in the bill and the date I'm going to stop using it. Engineering can then come in and make changes, and you can follow those changes. This little symbol here says that there's a lower level bill of material on that item, right? Um, or should be, there we go. There's another level down on that bill of material. And you can let me add. So by clicking the edit button, I can come in and end date things and those kinds of things. So um, I don't think I entered this as in an edit mode, so I can't add. But if we want to add, we can go here and say collect from copy and etc. So the bill of material is important. It's what we use to roll up our costs. It's also what manufacturing uses to produce this item. So with that, I'm going to now go over into work definitions. Work definitions is the method or the process or the route that we take through the manufacturing floor. And work definitions are found under supply chain execution and the work definitions. So in here, we put resources, labor, and machines. We put in how many hours it's going to take to do certain things, etc. So okay, so we're going to go into manufacturing work definitions. There we go. Redwood can be exciting sometimes. Okay, so this is our work definition screen. We'll have the various items, and then there can be many work definitions for a particular item. So what I'm going to do is click on this item, and I'm going to come over here and say edit priorities. Priorities is where we set up production and costing priorities. And this is a way that you can see here, I have 5 different work definitions. This is a way if I have an alternate work definition that I want to use for cost accounting, then I can come in under actions and give it a priority, then click the check mark to save it. So I always like to put costing priority 1 on my work definitions. That way, if there's an alternate out there, whatever, there's no ambiguity on which one's being used for costing. And so we're going to save and close. And then we're going to click on main to go into the work definition. And on the work definition down here at the bottom, we're going to see resources. So we're going to go ahead and click into resources. And these are going to show all the resources that are assigned to the various sequences in this work definition. And so these resource names need to be set up in a cost scenario if you're in to set the rates for those items. So each one of these is going to have a rate associated with it. Also, we're going to want to click on the costing enabled, because unless you enable costing, it's not going to cost it. So that's kind of important to make sure that one's actually for the search, but you need to make sure that these are set up for costing enabled. So to enable costing on an operation, I'm still learning Redwood screens myself. I click on operations down here at the bottom, and it gives me my list of my operations. If I slide this over, or did I miss it? The costing enabled comes up here under edit work definition. And you can see my costing priorities down here. Batch size, this is right off. Batch size is off the item master. This is off the costing priorities that we set up a few moments ago. So this is at the header level. So let's take a look at the work definition. So I'm going to, I mean, not the work definition, the resources, excuse me. It's one of those mornings. So we're going to back out here and under actions when it resolves. There we go. We're going to go into manufacturing resources. So on these resources, let's go down here to like my technician level 1, click on this and do an edit. And right here, excuse me, on this resource is enabled for costing. So that's an important flag to catch. So pop out of here and on that same resource, this used to be so much easier in the green screen. Click here and say define rates. What this does is it opens up a cost accounting screen. You can see down here at the bottom, it says cost scenarios, standard cost, resource rates, etc. So you can see the labor rates are set up here. It was set up in this cost scenario that was effective on this date. So this is where you can see your published. And there should be a last use, effect start date. Well, there used to be a status on here that said published. I don't see that now. But you can come out and take a look at the rates, make sure they're set up. And if they're not set up properly, you would go into create a cost scenario, set in those rates, set in whatever overhead you're going to associate with them, and then roll it up and then publish it. So that's the way to get the rates over here. But so this is just, it jumps over to cost accounting to be able to handle these resource rates. And with that, I bet I've got to, yeah, use the back arrow. So again, what we've walked through, again, this is really high level. This is basically for people who don't know supply chain already, people who are new to cost, either on the finance side or the supply chain side, and what you have to set up. Once all that's set up, then you can actually go and roll up costs. So there is a link to the PowerPoint down in the comment section below. Hope this has been helpful for you.